Good morning. We're learning as a schus for shlema filan chaya basarach. We're by the two dots, about 12, 13 lines up from the bottom of Tes Zayin Amid Beis. Hiktir shumshum lechol shumshum. We're still continuing with our discussion, which is really based on the general discussion, which will go for even into the next parak, about the topic of what kind of machshava will make something piggle, what type of machshava will mepasel an avodah. And we're talking a lot about the machlekes Rameh and the chachamim, about mefaglim b'chatzi matir. If you have half of a matir, part of a matir, is that going to be, and you have a machshava in only part of it? The classic case is where you have, let's say, the kaimitz and the levina. You need both to be. You need to be marked to both of them by a mincha in order to be mata the shirayim. If you only have a machshava on one of them, Rameya says you are mafag b'chatzi mata cham seyina. So Dr. Hikter shumshum lechos shumshum. If someone ate a grain of sesame, it doesn't mean sesame because there is no sesame in the Beis Hamikdash. It means he did the haktara of the kaimitz, but he only did the amount of a single sesame seed at a time. So he was doing it a piece, one tiny piece at a time. Lechol shumshum, and he has in mind when he's doing it that he's going to eat a sesame seed sized piece of the shirayim the next day. So he has two problems here, right? He only did one shumshum, which is almost like a mashahu size of the kaimitz that he was makdir, that he burnt on the mizbeach, and his machshava was also only about one sesame seeds amount. Achakal is kaimakule, and he kept on doing this until he finished the entire kaimitz, the haktara of the whole kaimitz. Obviously, the part that he's thinking about, he's only thinking about it, so nothing's happening to us. He keeps on having about a single sesame-sized grain. So Rav Chizda, Rav Hamnun, and Rav Sheshes, they have them three-way machlekes. Chadam or pigel. One will say it's pigel, but chadam or pasul. One will say it's not going to be pigel, but it's not a kosher or carbon. It's going to pasul the carbon, but chadam or kosher. And one says it's a kosher carbon. Lema, let's say, manda amar pigel karameir. The manda amar who says it's pigel, he's like Rameir, who says mefaglim b'chatzi mater. So even though you only had in mind to be makdir when you were makdir a single grain, but it's okay. That's enough to make it pigel. Umanda amar pasol, and eventually you were makdir the whole thing. Umanda amar pasol k'rabbanan. They hold like the rabbanon who say ein mefaglim b'chatzi mater, but a chatzi mater is enough to make it pasol. Umanda amar kosher. The man who says kosher k'Rebbe. That's like Rebbe we had earlier by the kifsei atzeres, that if someone had in mind for the two kifsei atzeres that he's going to be makdir from each other's keves, that means each keves has its own basar, and they also have the shtei halechem, and he had in mind to eat chatzi zayis from the shtei halechem by one and chatzi zayis by the other. So he says you can combine the two matirim together with the two chatzi kazaisim to make it a machshavas pigel. I'm sorry, to make we just ignore that machshava, and therefore that's a kosher carbon. So he would say the same thing over here. It's a chatzi matir together with a machshava about what's becoming mutter from a different part of the matir. He says it's kosher, so over here also it's going to be kosher. No, how do you know that's the case? Dilma ad kan lekamer Rameir hasam. That which Rameir says that we are mefagel b'chatzi mat el lechisha b'shiurah. That's only where his machshava, he had a machshava while he was doing chatzi mater, but he was being machashav in an entire shiur of achila. Over here he's only thinking about one shumshan. Even Rameir maybe would be masking that it's not going to be pigel. That which the Rabbanan say that it's possible when you machasha by b'chatzi matir. That's also when you're not machasha in the whole matir. In the end, over here, he's doing it one grain at a time, but he is ultimately having machshava in the entire haktaras kaimitz. Maybe the Rabban would be masking in this case. It's not a real case of mefagel mechatzi mater because ultimately he has in mind he's mocked the whole thing. Ad kan likam a Rebbe hasam al doy hadam malyam oisa avoida. V'chad hadam malyam oisa avoida. Hachanami the apostle. Maybe that's which Rebbe said in the case of Shtei Alechem is in the end he is he's not filling that whole avoida, the avoida of Aktara. He's doing the two of them separately. But over here, in the end, he's coming on. He is doing the entire kaimitz is all being huktar one sum shumshum at a time. So therefore we have to amend this. According to the Mandam who says this pigel, that's going like everyone. Mandam apostle divrei hakol. Mandam kasha divrei hakol. This has nothing to do with the machlekes, and we said the question about hiktir shumshim lechol shumshim is going to be a machlekes that has it's the three machlekes of the Amarayim is not dependent on the machlekes Tanoim at all. And how does it work? Manda Amar Pegel Divrei Hakol. According to Manda Amar says that Hikta Shumshum and Chishav Shumshum, everyone is going to agree that it's Pegel Kasava Derech Achila Bakach Derech Haktar Bakach. He says even though you burnt the kaimetz one shumshum at a time, that's the way you do it. When you're burning something, you feed it into the fire. So even if you did it very small amounts at a time, that's a normal way to burn it. So it's not even considered that it's separated. His haktara was all together. And the same thing with the achila. You don't stuff an entire fistful into your mouth. When you take the kaimitz, it's a fistful of whatever, let's say the crackers or the cooked flour, whatever the case may be. You don't stuff it all and eat it in one time. You eat a little bit at a time. So as he's eating it, it's not considered that he's having machshava on separate parts because he really means to eat the whole thing. Manda apostle. Manda says it's pasul divrei hakol. Everyone agrees it's pasul kasava derech achila b'kach. It's a normal way to eat it. So his machshava is a valid machshava. Ve'ein derech haktara b'kach. However, it's not a derech haktara to burn it one piece at a time. You throw the whole thing at one time. So therefore, he never burnt it properly. It's not considered a v'havile kamincha shloi huktara. It's not a haktara at all. It's not just that it's a haktara with a machshavas psul or a problem with the machshava. The problem is you're not considered to have burnt it. Burning means burning it all at one time. When you burn it separately, it's not considered that you burnt it on the mizbeach properly and you didn't do the avodah at all. So therefore, it's possible. But it's not pigel because if you don't do the avodah, it can't be pigel. Amanda, so it doesn't really. I don't know why it has to see. He has to say ve'in derech achila b'kach. It doesn't really make a difference whether it's derech achila b'kach. Amanda amar kosher. And the Mandamu says, "Kosher divrei hakol kasava derech haktara b'kach." This is a normal way of burning it. So he did do the avodah, ve'en derech achila b'kach. But the achila that he's saying he's mechasher, I'm going to eat it that way. That's not a valid achila. So even though he's having machshava chutz lezmanai to eat it past the time, that machshava can be disregarded because it's a machshava that's not a valid machshava. He wasn't really intending to eat it. That's not considered eating it. Okay. Next time. Amacharifi de Pumbedisa. The sharp ones in Pumbedisa stated a provocative statement. At least if you're into Menachos, maybe you'll find provocative. I think most people would say, "What are you talking about?" But Haktara mefagelas Haktara. Vaf Zakt Rashi. What does that mean? Haktara mefagelas Haktara. Doesn't sound like much of anything. Zakt Rashi. Hiktir kaimitz, when someone burns the kaimitz, almanas lahaktir levain, la'achazman. If someone has in mind to be maktir, when he's being maktir the kaimitz, he says, I have in mind that I'm going to be maktir levain la'achazman, He says it's pigel. So Rashi, v'afagav de'im mater mefagel es hamater, even though one mater cannot be mefagel a different mater, v'lo yidom l'shechet as a kaves lecha mechaver l'mocha k'nefaris l'kamon, the hasam le'ikvu b'chad mana, hacha ikvu b'chad mana. Even though normally one cannot be mefagel to one matter cannot be matter mefagel another matter. Over here, since the Levina and the Kaimitz were placed in the stick, they had started in the same klisharis. They were mekudesh in the same klisharis. They have more of a relationship than the two klasim of kifsei atzaris that are the standard case of chatzi mater with chatzi mater. So this is not the, I'm sorry, not chatzi mater, the mater being mefaglas mater. These have a relationship, so therefore, when you have a machshav in one, it's mefagel the other. Zak Rashi, Zak the Gemara, v'afilu Rabban Damri ein mefagel b'chatzi mater. But even what about the problem that it's only a chatzi mater? You cannot eat the shirayim until you makter both the kaimitz and the levina. And all you did over here was you makter the kaimitz. That's only that we say you can't be mafagel b'chatzi mater when you just have machshah on the kaimitz. That's when he's thinking about the shirayim, but he doesn't do anything with the levina. Over here, since he's thinking about being makter levina, it's as if he was mechashev in the entire mater. Since the it has to do, since he's having machshava while he's doing the kaimitz, so that includes the kaimitz, and he's thinking about the levina. So the whole mater, which is both the kaimitz and the levina, is involved in this machshava. So it's not considered like he's mefagel b'chatzi mat. Amar Rava. Rava says, we also see this in the Mishnah. This is the Mishnah at the beginning of this parak. Someone, this is the rule. Someone who does a kmitza, and we're 6 lines down the inside Amav. Anyone who does any one of the 4 avodas that are associated with the mincha, he does the kmitza and he puts it in the kli, and he's moilech or he's maktir. If he does it intending to be maktir something that is normally hoktar, or to eat something that's normally eaten, which is the shirayim, and lahaktir davar shadaka lahaktir would refer to both the kaimetz and the levina. If he does a chutzlam kaimei, it's pasul. Ve'en by karas, it's not going to be karas. Chutzlas manei pigel v'chayvan olav karas. If he does a chutzlas manei, it's pigel v'chayvan olav karas. My love haktara dumya dahanach. We said the 4 avodas. We said kaimetz and kabbalah and halacha, and on those there is no requirement. There's no chatzi mater on those because those don't have the levina associated with them at all. So he doesn't have to do the levina with them. And we're saying the haktara as well. The haktara is going to be the same as those. Mahanach ben lecho ben lahakter. And we said on the first 3, whether he has a mind to eat or whether he has a mind to be maktir, the levina or the kaimitz, af haktara ben lecho ben lahakter. So to the haktara, but when he's being maktir the kaimitz, he has a mind, whether he has a mind to eat the shirayim of the mincha or he has a mind to be maktir the levina. Right? If he's being maktir the kaimitz, then he can only think he can have a mind to be maktir is the levina. So you see that it can become pigel when you have a machshava to be maktir the levina while you're being maktir the kaimitz. Sorry. Avktar ben lecho ben hakter loy. So tomorrow no. Hanach ben lecho ben lahakter. The other 3, it's taka whether it's lecho or lahakter. Aktara lecho and lahakter loy. But legabe the kaimitz, it's only when he has a mind to eat. But if he has a mind to be makter, maybe that's not true. That it wouldn't be pigel. And this statement of the Charifit of Umbedisa is not necessarily proven from our Mishnah. Yosef ben Menachos bar Gada kamei da Abaye. Rav Menashe bar Gadia was sitting in front of Abaya. V'Yosef v'Ka'amim b'Shmei Rav Chizda b'Saying of b'Shem Rav Chizda. Ein haktar mefagel haktar. They disagree with the Harife of Pumbedisa. They say the Haktara of the Kaimetz, if you're doing the Haktara of the Kaimetz, and you have in mind to be Maktir the Levina, that's not going to be Pigel. Bafila Remeir, he says the other way around, exactly the opposite. Even Remeir Dama Mafagim B'Chatzimata, even according to Remeir, who says you can't make a Machshavas Pigel on half of a Matir, and this is a half of a Matir, you're only being Maktir the Kaimetz. The B'Shirayim, the Kaimetz Matir Didu. That's only where he's thinking about the Shirayim. Then the Shirayim are the Kaimetz is being mater the Shirayim. So that's where Meir says that a Chatzi mater can be mefabel. Hacha the Kaimetz lav mater the Levainu. When he's having a machshava while he's being mater the Kaimetz about the Levaina, that and the Kaimetz is not a mater of the Levaina, lematzi mefagel. But even Meir we ask him that that's not a machshavas pigel. Ani Murray, answer me, Rebbe, this question. Mishmei the Rav Amalei did this Rav Chizda said that even Rav Meir is maskim that it's when you're mafagel from Haktaras Kaimetz to Haktaras Levina, it's not pigel even according to Rav Meir. Did he say that b'shem Rav? Amalei in. He said yes. Rav Chizda said this b'shem Rav. It manami Rav Chizda Marav. We taka have it that Rav Chizda said b'shem Rav. Ein Haktar mefageles Haktara. He says Haktara is not mefagel Haktara. Amr Yaakov Baridi Mishmei de Rabaya. Afanana mitniru. We have a Mishnah to support this proposition. Shachad echad min hakvasim. If someone shechted one of the kivsei atzeres, well, there are two kivsei atzeres that are brought for the shtei halecha, lecha mimenu lemacha, and he has in mind to eat from those kivsei atzeres la'achaz man with a machshavas pigel. Who pigel? So the one he had the machshava on is going to be pigel. V'chaveri kosher. The other keves atzeres is going to be kosher. Lechel mechaveri lemacher. If he's maktir, he shechts one of the kvasim, and he has in mind to eat from its chaver the next day. Shneim ksherim. They are both going to be kosher. My timer. Why is it that when you have a machshava, while you're being shechting one on the other, on the eating the basar of the other keves? Lamishum the kivin the lav mata didei ule matzim mafagel. L'chayr it's the same svara like we just said on the din of haktar mafagelas haktara by the kaimetz in the Levina, because he's not having a machshava on the thing that it's being matter. Kivin the lav mata didei ule matzim mafagel. So come on, loy hasam hu the loy ikve b'chad man. There by the snake kvasim of atzeres. They have no relationship with one another, that they were both put together in the same kli. Aval hacha the ikva b'chad mana legabe the kaimetz and the levina, that they both became a kuddush in the same kli sharis, so they have more relationship. Ki chadamu, they're considered as one, and when you have a machshava in one matir, it can cross over, and he can have a machshavas pigel on the haktar of the other one, even though it's not matir. Amar Rav Amununa, Hal Melsa, Avlali Rav Chanina. This thing was taught to me by Rav Chanina, particularly Kula Talmudoi, and it's worth as much to me as everything else I've learned. Hiktir Kaimetz, if someone's maktir the Kaimetz of a mincha, lahaktir levina, having in mind to be maktir levina, lechol shirayim, and to be lechol shirayim, L'machar, the following day, pigel. It's going to be pigel. My kamashmalan. What is he telling him? He's saying he was makta the kaimetz, and he had in mind to be makta levina and to be echel shirayim. He had the machshav of everything. Iya haktara mefagelas haktara kamashmalan. If he's kind of trying to tell you the din that he could be makta, that when someone makta the kaimetz could have a machshava on the levina, and that's going to be a good machshava like harife de pumpadiso. Let me hik the kaimetz lahak the levina. Let him just say that. Why do you also answer in? Why do you also add into the case that he was oichel shirayim? And if he's trying to say that you could even be Mefaga B'Chatzi Mater. He's only having Machshava by the Aktaris Kaimitz, without having a Machshava by the Aktaris Levina on the Shirayim. Leme Hikti Kaimitz Lecha Shirayim Lamacha. Why do he stick in the Levina? And each Ravayu Kamash Malon, if he's trying to tell you both of these dinim, Leme Hikti Kaimitz Lahakti Levina Vilechel Shirayim. He should say he was Makta the Kaimitz, having in mind either to be Makta Levina or to be Eichel Shirayim. By saying both of them, he detracts if he's trying to say two separate dinim. The din of the Charife de Pumpadisa and the din of Remeir that Mefagel B'Chatzi Mater. He holds ein aktar mefagel saktar. He doesn't agree with either of those propositions. But over here, v'shani hacha the postulate machshava b'kula mincha, since he had at the same time both a machshava on a chatzi matter, and he also was saying haktar mefagel saktara, that you could have a machshava about something that's not directly related to you. But he had both of them at the same time, so therefore he has one machshava relating to the kaimitz, and he has a machshava relating to Levina. Therefore, pashtale machshava b'kula mincha, and in that particular case, where it's both, where he had both machshavas, it would be a machshavas pigel. Tani Tanaka made a v'yitzka barabba, hikter kaimitz lechel shirayim. If someone was makta the kaimitz, having in mind to eat the shirayim. L'divrei hakol pigel. According to everyone, it's pig. This is a case. Lechel shirayim. He's hektar kaimitz, but he wasn't makta the levina. It's only a chatzi mater. You have to also be makta the levina. So how could he say divrei hakol pigel? It's a machlekes. Elaim l'divrei hakol posel. So you have to say that everyone will agree. Even Remeir, even the Chacham who say ein mefagim b'chatzi mater, they'll agree that it's posel. The lema hareza pigel v'ramei. The Gemara asks, how do you know that we have to say it's puzzle? Let's say it's pigel and it's going to Ramei. So the Gemara, it said Tana divrei hakol esnuya. It said divrei hakol. Pigel b'psul michleflei. It's possible to change, even though it said pigel, we're going to change it to mean psul. Hareza b'divrei hakol loy michleflei. But you don't change the words. We have divrei hakol. Then you're going to say hareza pigel instead of divrei hakol pigel, that we don't so easily change. That's a bigger change in the lashon of the memra of the Bryce. Hadron alacha kaimitz esam mincha. I think this next parak is going to get us to the what everyone's eagerly waiting for, the stam, the discussion of stam. I think it's in the third parak. Yeah. So you'll just have like another week and a half or so. I know it seems like a long time. Zok the Mishnah. Someone does kmitza on the mincha, and he has in mind to eat something that's not supposed to be eaten. What's not supposed to be eaten? That means the kaimitz is supposed to be burnt on the mizbeach, or the levine is supposed to be burnt on the mizbeach, and he has in mind he's going to eat that. Chutz l'zmani. So he's thinking to eat something that's not supposed to be eaten, that's something that's supposed to be burnt, and that's what he's having his machshavas pigel for. Or he has in mind to be makta the shirayim. The shirayim are supposed to be in by the kehanim. Instead, he has in mind he's going to burn it on the mizbeach chutz l'zmani. Kosher. The Tanakama says it's kosher. That's not a machshavas pigel. Rebbe Elazar poisel. Rebbe Elazar says it's going to be puzzle, even though he's thinking about something that it's not supposed to be. He's not the machshava he's having chutz l'zmani is trained on something. He's having in mind to consume it in an improper way. He wants to either eat something that's supposed to be burnt on the mizbeach, or he has in mind to burn on the mizbeach something that's supposed to be eaten. Rebbe Elazar says that's still enough to passel the carbon. Lechol davar shadaka lechol hakta davar shadaka hakta pachem mikazayis kosher. Even if he has the right machshava on the right thing, he intends to burn something that on the mizbeach it's supposed to be burned. Chutz l'zmani, if it's less than a kazayis, it's going to be kosher, whether he has a mind to burn it or whether he has a mind to eat it. It has to be a kazayis. Lechel kechatzi zayis ulhakte kechatzi zayis. He has a mind to full kazayis, but it's only half a kazayis of each. He has a mind to eat a chatzi zayis of the shirayim, and he has a mind to be maktar a chatzi zayis of the kaimitz or the levina. Kosher. Ein achila. Faktorim mitzdarfen. You can't add together a machshavas haktara to burn something together with a machshava to um to eat something. Amar Ravasi, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. My taima to Rabbi Elazar. What's the reason Rabbi Elazar that he says it's possible when you have a machshava to burn something chutz lezmanai that was supposed to be eaten, and vice versa? He says, "Ama kravim he'achal yacham b'sar zevach shlamav." The Torah says, "Im he'achal." If he eats, ye'achal. If he eats, but shtei achilas akasam medaber didn't have to repeat the word he'achal ye'achal. It's talking about two achilas: echad achilas adam ve'echad achilas mizbeach. It's talking about both something that's shirayim that's eaten by a person, as well as the achila of something being consumed by being burnt on the mizbeach. Lo emel kashem shem chash b'achila adam kach mechashem b'achilas mizbeach. Just so you can have a machshavas pigel on something that on the shirayim that the kohen eats or the bailam eat, so too you can have a machshava on something that's burnt on the mizbeach. Ukashem shemachashem achilas adam machilas mizbeach. Just like you could have a machshava from something that's eaten by a person to what you can have a machshava me'achilas adam. Achilas adam, what does that mean? Right, you say just like you can have a machshava pigel on a achila, so too, if you're when you're doing, you can have something that's supposed to be eaten, you have a machshava to be makter, and vice versa. That's also going to be a machshava to pass it. My timer. Where does that come from? Where we see that it says heyachal yachal, so it's referring to both achilas adam and achilas mizbeach, and it calls it a lashon achila. And it's even though we're talking about also about haktara, which is not technically an achila. Achila means a person eating, but we call it heyachal yachal lashon achila. That tells you whether you do the haktara b'lashon, whether he has a mind to eat the haktara or he has a mind to burn the shirayim. It's going to be, according to Belazar, that's enough to pass it. For Rabbanon, they say that's telling you a whole different thing. It's coming to tell you, even though, now this is much better according to Rashi. Rashi says, in order to have a machshavas chutz zmana, chutz l'mkoyma, you have to say what you're doing. You have to say, I have in mind to burn it or to eat the shirayim after the zman. So he says it's just coming to tell you, even though he said, I'm going to be oichel the haktara on the mizbeach chutz lezmanai, that's still considered to be a machshavas pigel, even though he said achila and he was talking about burning, but he said he meant it to burn on the mizbeach, that's going to still be a machshavas pigel. That's one possibility. Another possibility for the Rabban, inami, another reason why it said haktar b'lashon achira. Ma achila bekazayis av haktar bekazayis. It's coming to tell you that there's a shear of his machshava has to be that he had intended to eat a kazayis. I'm sorry, to burn a kazayis on the mizbeach chutz lezmane, because there is no shear of a kazayis legabi burning something. The shear of kazayis relates to achila. So we called haktara b'lashon achila to tell you that haktara shares the shear of a kazayis just like achila. But the Rabbanan say it's talking about just if you do the achila. The Rabbanan disagree with Eliezer. The only type of machshavas pigel that will passel is if he intended to eat the shirayim and to be makder the kaimetz and levina, and not vice versa. Rabbi Elazar disagrees with the Rabbanan. Im kain, if that was what it's coming to teach you, lichta rachman heyachal heyachal inami yeyachal yeyachal. My he'achal yachal. Why does the pasuk change the lashon of the achila? It doesn't just repeat it, but it changes it. Sham mina tarti. That comes to tell you both the limud that the Rabbanan are learning, as well as my limud that's coming to tell you you could even have a machshavas, even a machshava to do it, and not in the proper way. Meaning a machshava to be makter something that's eaten, or a machshava to eat something that's supposed to be huktar, is going to pass. If he's learning from a pasuk that even a machshava shaloi kedarkai, is enough to is applicable. Karas nami l'chayiv. The Torah is telling you that this is a machshavas pigul. Why did he just say it's possible? He should say it's a chayiv karas. It's a full-fledged machshavas pigul. V'chitema hachanami, and if you'll say that's taka the case that that Rebbe Lazar will hold, even though it said puzzle in the Mishnah. What he merely means is that it's pigul. You already quoted from Rabbi Yochanan that there is no chiv karas in this case. It's only puzzle. Amalei tanoya aliba de Rebbe Lazar. Iklamandam psul de Raisa, iklamandam psul de Rabban. Okay, you know what? I think it's going to be hard to stop anywhere before another Amud. So I think we'll stop over here. We'll continue tomorrow. Be'ezus Hashem, unless somebody has a